just for rhymes, cause we give them more. That's how we roll, knuckled up from that dirty show. So grab your hoe, hit the flow, what you waiting for? Bounce, baby, bounce on that dirty show.
No, wait, so that was with Eric in his first incarnation in like 2011. That's what you're saying?
Yeah.
And you did a couple of shows with him, and then last podcast he was talking about, and that'll be available somewhere. Even if it doesn't go wide release, we'll have it available somewhere. But
I'll eventually leak it if it doesn't come out on the Anthem. I'm just going to say that out.
Have it posted on YouTube or somewhere. And we got some technical difficulties this week with technology has been wreaking havoc. So
I'll flat out tell you, every time I leak something, there's been at least 200-300 views just off a leak view.
Anything get you by. So
I can also say that if it ends up on the Anthem, which we've been waiting for, so that we can both just start sharing it on Facebook and Twitter and everything, I think it'd be at least 300-400 views.
Let's hope so. So we'll get, and like I said, hopefully we'll get those technical things. We have not been happy with our. Corey's talking about switching to Adobe because he's had so much problems with the AudioVox or whatever the thing he's.
Is that what he's using?
Yeah, whatever it is.
I still gotta give you.
You
gotta
show me the software, so I can talk about using that.
I've thought about that for the last 2 weeks, and then you'd come over, and I've already been buzzed. I'm just like, hey, let's bullshit for a while.
So Eric is now. He took a couple years off. Yep. We talked about that last year. Now he's back. Last week. You guys talked about that last week. So now he's back. And he's got the same project, same name, hopefully, if he can get everything done. But he's back
like you said, nobody has the copyright to it. And I think what ended up happening was that he grabbed the beat where Cryptic Wisdom had the hook on the beat. It was for a song called Mirrors, I do believe, and him and Ice did verses for it. And it went up on YouTube, and somebody else did verses for the same track.
Right.
With the same hook. Well, their shit sucked. But Eric and Ice's shit didn't. And I think they got pissed off that they got owned over the same beat.
Right.
And they started trying to claim copyright violation, and that's why their shit got started taking off.
All right, and then it just cascaded backwards on his stuff.
Basically. Yeah.
So, but right now he's still operating under the what is his where could you find his stuff?
It's still going to be on Facebook. I don't know his band page currently. I'm going to assume it's iProfit Music, which I think he said last week.
Yeah.
His personal page is going to be Eric Moore. I don't mean to throw that out there, but I know he doesn't care.
Well, and you played a couple songs of his last time, right?
Yes.
Is there any songs that you didn't play that people might want to hear?
We played two samples from new shit.
Okay.
He finally got a new computer, so he started working on new shit. Better Run was a rough cut of something he was working on for a beat that he was making himself, which I think was the first song we played.
Right.
I can't remember the name of the second song, but that was one from a beat he got from a current person that makes beats that he usually does stuff through. But none of them are paid for, so they're going to try, him and Ice are going to try for their group album to at least lease the beats so that nobody can bullshit them on YouTube and everything else.
Well, let's take a listen. New or old or whatever, let's hear a little something from Eric.
Something's gotta give, 'cause I don't really know what you want from me. I've made my promises, I've kept them, I've given you honesty. No matter what I do, it's never enough. And no matter what I do, it's never enough. And no matter what I do, it's never enough. And no matter what I do, you know it's never enough.
It's not enough that I'm thinking, writing in my room, jotting down this line I first spoken through the mic to you. I gotta switch and change up everything I always was, but I will fight and stand still, pushing on to never budge. 'Cause I will never sacrifice who I came to be. When they speak about the truth, you will always think of me. No one's grateful for the albums that I drop for free. When I press the album, you will probably just avoid the fee. It hit the download button on the blog spot, neglecting that I chose this career by a long shot. And when I hit your city up, when my song's right, you'll probably pass the booth where my shirt's hanging large stop. I'ma shine no matter what I go through, 'cause this life choice is the one I chose to. Not you or the people that you're close to, so your thoughts can find silence like it's supposed to.
Something's gotta give, 'cause I don't really know what you want from me. I've made my promises, I've kept them, I've given you honesty. No matter what I do, it's never enough. And no matter what I do, it's never enough. And no matter what I do, it's never enough. And no matter what I
1 second you think that I'm the best, I'm up at this microphone with my grand two in chest. And I would thank you every day without the time of rest. Just know you're the reason I push on when I feel depressed. These are the heart and the soul of a life choice, as we entertain your minds with this love noise. As I'm drinking on this liquor where I drain the voice, saying you will never make it here as the words rejoice. Here I stand now before a hype crowd, the spill of love I admire in the underground. It's KBG and EI when you hear the sound, representing artists around the world who are hunger bound. If you like me, your stomach's empty. When these whack artists get success, it just tempts me to steal the mic off the stage while they spit the rhymes, just to let the underground feel a piece of air shine.
Something's gotta give, cause I don't really know what you want from me. I've made my promises, I've kept them, I've given you honesty. No matter what I do, it's never enough. And no matter what I do, it's never enough. And no matter what I do, it's never enough. And no matter what I do, you know it's never enough.
I work my ass off to produce quality music. I'ma make it even if you do not believe. A lot of shit on the radio's too soft for me. Feeling stuck even though I make moves properly. As prophecy, he knows the feeling of trying to raise up, stuck below the ceiling. I got fucked by a label once and didn't see it coming. Now I'm running shit and making no agreements. My first album took 3 years to record and mix. Released it and never saw a dime, all pouring shit. I created that album, poured out my soul in it. Then they took my baby away like an abortionist. I used to never have doubts, now I have a lot. Made one bad move and forever felt the aftershock. It's so hard just to get back up when you've tried everything and that's still not enough. Now
something's gotta give, cause I don't really know what you want from me. I've made my promises, I've kept them, I've given you honesty. No matter what I do, it's never enough. And no matter what I do, it's never enough. And no matter what I do, it's never enough. And no matter what I do, you know it's never enough.
Everybody's got their playlist for the gym.
Right.
And no matter how big your playlist is, you only have like those certain few songs that get you where you need to be, so you end up repeating them the same time.
I was gonna say, yeah, even though you have 100, you skip in between sets.
Right,
there you go. Okay.
So I wanted to recreate a vibe for the type of lifting that I like to do, and I love heavy lifting. You know, I mean, I love staying intense and music for strength training at first. And so I'm like, I can never find what I want to hear. Then I'm like,
not to cut you off.
I was gonna say, I was gonna make note of that. Brandon says the album is amazing,
oh,
and I agree 100%.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I don't
know who this other guy is, so
the main man.
But thank you, Brandon.
Absolutely. The interracial couple. What is the interracial couple? Us? I mean, if it's us, it's more like a threesome. You know what I'm saying? But no. All jokes aside, man. I was trying to find music that would motivate me, but I didn't just want to hear about someone else's emotions. I wanted to focus. I wanted it to be about what it was I was doing. Mm-hmm. And that's when I realized, man, there's a lot of music out there about. Everybody listens to music when they train.
Right.
But there's no music out there about training.
Right.
So, I mean, it wasn't like I went to start to do something that was supposed to have this huge mainstream appeal. It was for people that were in the fitness community that would actually get what we were coming at.
Right, okay, yeah.
And I started doing songs based on training, different types of vibe, different types of feel. But always, it's always a heavy rock influence in what I do musically, because nothing really drives me for real like heavy drums and hard guitar.
I say, but it's got that same, and I mean that's the beats per minute is like what it's all about,
right? It keeps your heart rate up.
I can't write for shit.
So it's weareironarmy.com, weareironarmy.com.
Right, and you can also find us on YouTube under Iron Army as well. Got everything Facebook, laid there, everywhere. And Facebook. We're everywhere. So,
but yeah, it's all about getting the beats per minute, and that driving that hard rock beat is what gets your beats per minute up. So,
right.
And I can tell you, I've listened to the album. It's in my car. We listen to it, and it's weird to be in the car because you end up getting hyped up in the car.
Right, you do some push-ups.
You want to go work out or something.
But yeah, so this is not an album that not just an album that you listen to when you work out. It's music about working out,
right?
Which is kind of unique. And I mean, like again, your Abstract, what you were involved in with before, was all about setting something new, finding a new sound. You've done that again,
right? You have to. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, man. You have to reinvent yourself. I'm proud to say it. I will be 43 years old this year. My bench press is 500 pounds. Check it out on Instagram if you don't believe me.
What's your Instagram? Before you skip
too.
Anthem.Emmons.
There you go.
I'm my straight government. I got nothing to hide. Come get me, bitches. But it's we started performing because we started putting it together, and I was like, well, where do you play this? Besides the gym, how do you get a venue? So we started looking into gyms becoming the new venue. Bodybuilding shows.
And that was a good time. Yeah. For anybody that didn't get to go out, it was really enjoyable.
Yep, just did an open house for Powerhouse in Cambridge, and we're going to be looking to move to different gyms as we go along, and do gym reviews, and the music is always behind our videos. It's a new genre. I think it's a lot of fun. I haven't really heard anything like that.
Sorry, we got is it Suleiman?
Hi from Iraq.
How's it going?
Assalamu alaikum.
Are you a soldier?
I guess not, but anyway, so yeah, we just saw this show a couple of weeks ago. Has it been a couple of weeks now?
It's been about 2 weeks now.
Yeah, August the 1st.
And it was probably the most interesting show I've ever been to, because it was mixed in with music and demos. And is that going to continue? Is that what you're looking to do?
Yes, because I want everybody that is in the field to know that we benefit from partnering. This isn't a race for me. I love the fact that we can play, and then I can have, then Trevon comes out and he does tire flipping and he goes through minute drills so people can actually get the feel of what's going on and what this whole thing is supposed to do and why it does what it does.
And I got tired watching the minute drill that he did. I was exhausted standing and smoking a cigarette and watching it. So I can't even imagine what it's like to do it.
Oh.
But the tire flip, the hammer drop, the ropes.
The ropes.
Oh my God. And then you've been out there doing the show all day, and then you did a round on the tire, and I was like, I don't even know how he's doing that.
Oh,
I can't even imagine.
Stupid pump, man. I was pumped, but I'm going to tell you, when I went back, when I started grabbing him, I was like, wow, I got to go back with this.
Yeah. I started, now I got to finish it.
Right, I bent down there next time, and I was like, damn it, man, you're 43 years old. What the fuck are you doing?
And I don't know about Rob, but after watching the little girls flipping that thing, I didn't want to touch it.
Well, and that was the thing. We were joking about going out there, and then when the small girl flipped it over, I said, "There's no way," because when I embarrass myself, I don't want to be seen in front of them.
Exactly.
But see, what's cool though is that the sense of family that we have.
Yeah.
Everybody starts from somewhere. The perfect time to get yourself in better shape is today. Because a year from now, you'll wish you started a year before. And it's not about judging. Trevon was about 270 pounds. And now he's 190 pounds looking like he's 220. We've all had our days and we all have our vices. And we have to help each other through them. Weight comes. But the most important thing is the journey. It's not getting there. Yes, that is crazy.
So
that is crazy.
King there with a little recommendation: do jumping jacks with battle ropes.
Can somebody explain battle ropes to me? Was that the one?
That's the ropes.
Right, absolutely. So it's all about trying to find new ways to train, educating people on how they can become better.
Right.
And it's just on a level of being physically fit. The music actually just spawns from what we go through as trainers. Sometimes it spawns through what I go through with weightlifting problems. Sometimes there's no way around it. Shit hurts.
Yeah.
It hurts sometimes. you tear yourself up. But this is what even the song we just heard, Makes Me Stronger. That's what it's about. If it doesn't kill you, your body learns and adapts from it, and it makes you into a stronger human being.
Right. And weightlifting is all about that. It's the whole process is you break down to build back up.
Mm-hmm.
Break down and build back up.
Yep.
So, and I mean, so you've been doing this for a while now, obviously. But for somebody like me, for somebody like Kenny, what's the process of, I mean, is it starting out? Is it, I mean, it's scary. It's a scary process for me. I don't know about you.
It is.
Jumping in is the thought of even getting started. Where do you get started?
We talked about that while we were at the show. So
You always start very small. People say, oh, shoot for the stars. Bullshit. Don't shoot for the stars because you haven't even learned how to leave the ground yet. You're going to frustrate yourself. You know,
So you're saying the jumping jacks with the battle ropes, not good for me to go do that today.
not to start.
All right. Okay.
Yeah, not to start, but like I would always recommend do 5 to 10 minutes more physical exercise than you normally do. I don't care if that means walking down the block and walking back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? That's 10 minutes more that you're doing that you weren't doing before. It's all about being consistent. It's not about how much you push up, how long you hit the gym. If you come in with a focus to just do what you need to do in the gym, you can be done in less than an hour.
Mm-hmm.
Less than an hour.
What's up, everybody? We're back again. This is a very special podcast as we finally decided and agreed on a name for my podcast.
Yes.
Got Rob back again.
Hey, everybody. Rob, you know me from the The Anthem podcast. Check out otheanthem.com. Robert and Cheek on all your social networks. So,
I'm really glad he lives like 2 blocks away because when I can't get somebody here and I want a podcast just so I can keep it up every week, I can get him here one day throughout the week. It don't really matter. We do something.
Exactly right. Yeah.
It helps out a lot. So the new name. If you listen to the intro, and this is for the people that are listening to the podcast, if you're watching, go check out the podcast, hopefully in the next week or 2, and you'll hear the song. But for everybody else, if you're familiar with Eastern Shore music culture, the new name is Dirty Shore Underground. If you've heard Dirty Shore before, it's probably from the band Abstract.
Now, we have talked about, and at some point, all of the episodes that we've done will be out. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure it'll continue to come up because Abstracts was such a big part of the music culture around here that it's a name that's going to keep popping up and keep popping up and keep popping up. But obviously it made a big impact on your life being around here, and you're still up with the band members.
Yes, I am. And luckily enough, as we were going through things, you know, at first, as you heard from the intro previously, it was a song by Twisted. The song's called Magic Ninjas. If you liked it, go check them out. They're pretty cool and fresh, whatever. Well, I wanted to use that, but we needed something that was marketable. So then we tried to do Establishing Productions / Entertainment. Well, there's like 6 different... Well, there's more than 6. We were in the top 3, luckily enough. However, still, other people have copyrights and stuff to it, so we couldn't use it. Me and Rob talked one night. It was, what was it, Monday night?
Yep.
We talked about it Monday night. Tuesday, I hit Wally up first thing in the morning and asked him if he still owned the rights to Dirty Shore. And he said, yeah, Dirty Shore Records. So I asked him, I was like, is it alright if I use Dirty Shore and add Underground to the end of it and use it for my podcast and whatever else? He's like, yeah, go for it. So in a couple weeks, we were going to have Wally on the show, and mad props to him for letting us use the name.
So when we left off, you were talking about you had the second album was, I don't want to say disappointment, but you were disappointed about
I was disappointed
putting
in
it together.
Yes, I was disappointed in it. Myself. I was disappointed in myself.
Yeah.
I wasn't disappointed in the band. I thought the band did a great job. I thought the songs, you know, were good. I don't think they were quite as good, and it's just my opinion. You know, I mean, some people like the second album better. My opinion, I like the first album, and I don't know sonically if that's what I'm talking about.
Mm-hmm.
basically, I liked the way, excuse me, the way the album was put together a lot better. It was put together, you know, we had a lot of time, and we had, you know, we did what we wanted. The second album, it was more like bam, 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 this has got to be done. Bam, 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 this has got to be done. You got this date coming up. This has to be done, you know, it has to be mastered and sent off by this time. And it's got to be pressed, and you got to have, it was crazy.
Welcome to the music business.
It was crazy, man. That's fun, though. I mean, if that's all I had to do was that,
right,
that's one thing. But when you're trying to hold down a full-time job, you know, and you know,
and oh, by the way, they don't give you a check for $1 million and say, "Hey, make an album."
Hell no.
Right. It's make this, and if it sells, then we'll talk about what you get on the other side.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So what happened? Where did it go from there after the second album?
We toured. We did a lot of touring.
Now you went back to you guys running your own show after that.
Yep.
Okay. So you started touring again.
Yeah, we got cocky. We were like, all right, well, if you don't want to roll with us, we'll roll over you. You know, and we're talking to a major label, by the way. And, you know, we toured for a while. I think Chris, our guitar player, he got burnt out, just like all of us. We were all burnt out and just wouldn't admit it. And he quit for a while. We got another guitar player, and he was good. He could play what Chris played. But when we started talking about writing for the third album, you know, we knew it wasn't going to work. So Chris called me on my way home, and he was like, you know, I'm thinking about I should have stayed in the band or whatever. And I was just like, well, I'm thinking about you should come back. Yeah. So, and it did. You know, he came back, and it was all good. We toured again for a while, and you know.
Well, let me ask you, how much of it, like a drug, is it to do? Because you were talking earlier about when you're playing a song that you wrote to a crowd and they're feeling it.
Yeah.
That there's nothing better than that.
No,
which
awesome.
Sounds a little bit like what I hear some of my some people of ill repute talking about the drugs, and that's kind of how they describe it. So is it like that a lot?
I guess. I mean, it's great. I don't do no drugs.
Well, yeah. But I can imagine that somebody who takes time off and then they're at home and they're not doing that anymore and they're not recording and they're not busy and then they miss it.
Yeah, I surprisingly don't.
Yeah?
No, I miss it.
Now you don't miss it.
No, I don't. I mean, I have people ask me all the time. They're like, man, you guys need to get back into, like tonight, you guys need to get back into a reunion show, or you guys need to do, you know, and I'm just, you know, I talk to all the guys. I mean, we're all still friends, and
touring's just hard for it.
It's just not going to happen. I mean, we did a show for, we did a benefit show for a little girl who had cancer, and that right there was the straw that broke the camel's back for Wiley, because we hadn't played together in, like, what did he, 5-6 years?
2009 was when you did the reunion show, because I remember Tony had told me about it. I was working at Purdue at the time.
Yeah.
And I turned around and texted you. I was like, is what I'm hearing true?
Yeah.
Because I got excited over it. And he was like, maybe. He was like, don't say nothing yet, because he knows how I get.
Yeah.
And then, of course, they went to that, and they did the reunion show. And I remember that Richie had a shirt made up that had lyrics on the front of it, because Wally was forgetting the lyrics, and they stuck it right on the kick drum.
They did.
Right before they did that song, and I'm sitting there laughing my ass off looking at it while I was recording.
You're talking about songs that we wrote ourselves
years ago.
And you know, I just thought, you know, after playing the same shit every weekend for, you know, 8 years, that we would just, you know, it would be like riding a bicycle. We would just jump right back into it, and we'll knock the show out, and, you know, give this money to this little girl, and everything will be good. And hell no, it didn't happen like that. I couldn't remember the lyrics. Tony couldn't remember the lyrics. Tony kept saying that, I mean, Faded Mirror, that the verse went on longer than it did, and it didn't. And Chris couldn't remember Lee's. It was a mess. It was a wreck. And we had to listen to our own damn CD to figure out what we did. And it took us forever. It took us forever to get that show together. And I just said, I am done with this shit.
For what it's worth, the Battle for Broke concert, it went off really well.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
I mean,
we put a lot of time and effort in that show. We raised like 10 grand for that little girl that night.
Yeah.
So.
And you guys did what? It was the 50-50 pot, right?
We did that.
And somebody from out of state won it, and they donated their half back to it.
Yeah, they actually, Beth, her name was Beth, and she drove.
The girl was David Crane.
Yeah.
Okay, so now that makes sense.
She actually, she drove down from Maine.
Yeah.
To be at that show.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Wow. All right.
To be at that show.
So I told you, Ashshot gets back together. People drive from everywhere to see it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so what you learned from that show was that
I don't want to import. So.
Doesn't want anything.
Thoughts? Who's the first character of her beloved characters? Anybody?
No, I would say I hope it's. What did I tell you earlier?
No.
Poor girl. Damn it.
Carol.
Yeah,
Oh,
I hope it's Carol. I don't like Carol.
You're the one person in the world who wants Carol to die.
I don't like Carol. I don't know what to tell you.
You watched all of Walking Dead, right?
Yeah.
So you're basing on
Yeah.
I didn't like her from the beginning. Though.
Yeah. He was like Corey doesn't like her because she's got short hair and Corey's got to think about it. So,
and it never grows.
And her hair never grows out. It stays the same length.
Rick's beard got like full on TV top, and she's still like.
It's the continuity errors.
She's still like Florence Henderson.
Maybe she's bald and she's just rocking a wig and nobody knows. It just stays on.
She had cancer.
The actress might be breast cancer.
Hope for her
Dick.
No, I'm just saying.
I goddamn hope it's cancer.
By the way, poor fucking turtle. That turtle had no goddamn chance in the world.
She was a motherfucking savage.
By the way, didn't cook it, didn't even try to heat it up, just ripped the head off and dig in.
Ain't no way. Put a lighter on that bitch. I was saying that then. By the way, JSS, I know what it stands for.
What does it stand for?
Just Super Saiyan.
Oh, God. We're not getting out on the Dragon Ball Z again. Let's stay within the genre. Listen, you don't want to fuck with me, because when stuff starts going bad, I'm going to start teasing you with a meat tenderizer. Like, bitch, you ain't going to make it.
I'm going to strip naked and go to the most ugliest women I can find and be like, let's all fuck. And then when they sleep, Barbie.
No.
Oh my God!
And that's how we found out.
I did not see that going that way.
That's how we found out that Tony would do great at Terminus.
You know, like at the height of sex, actually, all the juices are right.
Ew!
Right when they peak, you take them out, and everything's already seasoned.
Oh my God!
Put the bitch on the grill. Yo, man, JSS.
Where you gonna find a grill in the zombie apocalypse?
You turn over a shopping cart over a fire.
That's all right. Fire, man. Don't even turn it over. Put the fat bitch in it and put her light a fire under her ass.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Dirty Shore Underground. Tonight's special guest, we have Matt Mayday.
Thanks, Grom.
Wrong one. Yeah. Russell, the Love Muscle. We have Harry back again, who has a very new vape that we have all tried. It's very lovely.
Not me. I don't smoke.
Well, you don't have to smoke to do a vape. That's what
I don't vape either.
Well, then it sucks to you. Anyway.
And because I stepped on a match here, too. So, hey, man.
I was freaked out of from the movie Child's Play. As a kid, I could not.
You didn't have a good guide dog?
No, what I'm saying is...
My buddy.
That's what they were actually calling.
Yeah.
I, legit did not like dark hallways for years after that. I legit was terrified.
You know what was really sad? My mom being in a wheelchair, and I had my good buddy.
Mm-hmm.
I would crawl into her bedroom on the floor, knowing she couldn't get the fuck out the bed, and chalk that fucking doll up on her bed. And she was screaming. I would just jump up and run out the room laughing my ass off.
You're a disgusting human being for doing
fucked up. Now, I was going to say, the people who dress their 3-year-olds up as Chucky, so it just made me think of that. You're trying to get your kid kicked. Because if I see a little kid running up to me dressed like Chucky, I'm going to punt that little kid as far and as hard as I can.
Did you have Did you have an issue with Chucky when you grew up?
I did, but I'm just thinking I saw a picture.
The only issue I have is not the fact that he kills. The one issue I had was like him slitting the dude's Achilles tendon.
Yeah,
that's the one thing that stood with me after like 20 years now. Is
I don't have any issues with any of that. All I have an issue with is like a little kid who doesn't talk and is just kind of grunting, running up to me with a play knife in his hands. I don't take chances. Here's the thing. So I saw another thing that was so
you're part of the dictatorship. You don't take chances.
I don't take chances on anything. I saw a video of a guy they were at a strip club and they dressed up strippers as zombies and then had them come out.
That's fucking awesome.
They came out of the dark and out of the fog, and these guys like scramble up over the chairs. You're holding a beer bottle in your hand. Some zombie girl comes out. I'm not running. I'm hitting her with the bottle, kicking her in the face, and then maybe getting out of there. Don't fuck with me when it comes to zombies.
And then Glenn came out.
Well, I think Glenn came out. Go ahead, yeah.
Can I say that it scared the shit out of me?
Oh, yeah.
Like an 8-year-old
Was it the bathroom scene?
No, it was fucking clowns eating people, and I'm like, fuck.
I see killer clowns.
There might be a clown down the street.
That's campy as shit, though.
There might be a clown down the street that wants to eat my soul because I'm like 8 years old.
And I gotta say that it scared the shit out of me with the shitty graphics from the 80s.
Right.
I'm actually excited for the remake. It could go either way. It could be really good or really bad. If it goes really well, it's going to scare a whole new generation of kids. Okay. They held true to the nature of the character from the comics, but they took it on a storyline that made sense for a movie.
And I think he said fuck like every 45 seconds.
Yeah, and well, let's start with this. So, spoilers obviously from here on out, so don't worry about it. But the reviewers. There are two types of reviewers. There are people that said, thank God somebody finally made this movie, because now that it's made money, it's okay to make movies like this now. And on the other side, you have people that say, why do they need to say fuck every other sentence? Why is there so much gratuitous violence? Why does there need to be nudity? And big spoiler alert, cover your ears, Stan Lee in the club. Oh my God, that was so fucking good.
Right? I loved it. Again, me and Russell sitting there laughing. I don't think a lot of people caught on that was Stan Lee.
And it's not his typical show because he wasn't just being like innocent guy.
There was a couple parents. Yeah. They were coming in there with 12 to 15-year-olds.
What? And full nudity. Why would you? By the way, I realized that I've been broken by being in strip clubs so often.
That he didn't notice, really.
Because I noticed that they were nude, but I wasn't even looking. I was looking at their faces. I was trying to figure out which one is mine.
I was waiting to see if it was cutting back to Stan Lee myself.
I like how Rob is looking at the strippers' faces, not like what else.
Why were you in Canada? Why they were filming?
No, but so like I mean, when you spend time in strip clubs, it's like one thing you learn is this: one naked woman looks a lot like another naked woman. They're all basically the same, all their different dimensions. And I was worried about the plot, and I was saying to myself, this bitch is hooking again. So I thought he was going to walk in and find her, like, grinding up on some dude.
Yeah, but I don't think he would have been mad about that.
No, I don't think he would either, but I was looking for her. I'm like, okay, where is this slut? Where is this bitch
He did try to fill up Colossus in the process of breaking his wrist. So.
Oh, God, that was the best. I'm going to give you one of these. Oh. There was no more zombies in the building. They cleared out the zombies from the building.
Except for the ones that were on pikes.
Right, but you know those guys are not going anywhere. So what happens in the kill room isn't going to affect anything. And I think that after they shot the guy, the first thing Carol says is, "All right, let's get the fuck out of here." And Maggie, well, no, because she says, "No, let's finish this," and she goes and stands over him and then like waits, and then they get snuck up on. Like, fucking, this crew is weird about several things. One is the getting snuck up on. Two is the wanting to be hardcore and not being able to. And three, and I'm just going to be fucking frank about it, they are shitty with intelligence gathering. Mm-hmm. Listen, guys, so I have often said for the past, I don't know, decade, that I have an entire skill set that's just going unused. That, like, when society eventually breaks down, I will have an entire skill set that I'll be able to use, and it'll be great. One of those things is intelligence gathering. Another thing is torturing people to gather intelligence. I would frankly enjoy that greatly, I think. Killing people and getting away with it also would be fantastic. I wouldn't have to worry about getting caught anymore. This being the charismatic leader, like the governor, I think all of these things would bode well for me.
So you're the governor?
Yeah,
we've
absolutely,
already
100%.
discussed this. Yeah,
100% would be the governor, or Negan. I mean, honestly, I think
you would
closer
be
to
more,
Negan. Closer to
because
Negan.
it's that cult mentality which
Right.
the governor didn't have.
He ruled by the Iron Fist rather
Yeah.
than having the believers be around him.
I think
So
yeah,
Rick's
so-
eventually going to kill you.
Maybe.
Who's Rick?
Well, and see, here's the thing that, like, I would like to think myself of Rick, but Rick makes some fucking poor decisions. And the problem is we don't see the backstory on a lot of these characters. Like, the governor, maybe, other than when he ran into Rick, maybe he had his shit together, except for this one instance. Negan's the same way. You never know. But
plot twist, Corey's Rick. It would be interesting to
Corey
see.
does not have it in him. Corey, I love you, but doesn't have it in him to survive in this world.
If that situation arose, you wouldn't be afraid to kill Corey.
No, Corey would be Eugene in that situation. I mean, he could nut up. Hair game and all. Have you seen Corey? His hair game is on point. You saw him this week.
It's been a while since I've seen Corey.
His hair game is on point.
And we went through his
Yeah.
We gotta think, last time I seen him was episode 1 of season 6.
That's right. That's right. But you see it on Facebook though, so there's that. But no, Corey could nut up if necessary. Like I know that he has it in him, but it's all about what your first response is. And your first response for Corey, I think, would be a little bit of bitchiness. Like the bitch would come out first, and then he'd have to find the nut and nut up a little bit. I mean, frankly, my first response is to adapt. I am a lot more like Carol than I am any of these other characters. The first thing that I do is, all right, stay quiet. We figure out the lay of the land, who's in charge. Because, you start sucking up to the dude who got shot, and then you find out he's not actually fucking running things. He's not running shit at all. And now you've wasted all that time, and now you look like a suck up. So you just got to be quiet and figure out the lay of the land and move your way up, and then know who you got to talk to.
You think she was faking the hyperventilation to get
Absolutely.
I don't know. I don't know that she was.
I think she was.
What was accomplished by faking the hyperventilation?
She got the gag off. She was able to get the rosary right in her hand. She was able to get the connection with the cigarettes.
Had the rosary in her hand already.
She put it in her, as soon as they walked in, she put it in the pocket of her cargo pants.
Okay.
And it enabled her to be able to talk to them.
Maybe.
To make her look like she wasn't shit. Right up until the redhead pissed her off and she was like, "You're going to die."
So, our special guests are here today. They are from Dogwood Band, Not a Tree. We've had an interesting kind of history with music, as everybody knows. We like local music, we like underground music, and it's a fantastic. This is a fantastic opportunity for us. If you go back way back to episodes, 4, episode 8, something like that,
right around there,
all the way back at the beginning. You can kind of review some of our interviews of some established artists, and we have today with us a band that is just starting out, and so we get kind of the opposite perspective of everything that was going on. So I guess the first question for you guys is, how did Dogwood? Is it Dogwood Band or is it Dogwood?
Just Dogwood.
Right, and you are in fact a band.
Yes.
And you're not in fact a tree.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Dogwood. How did Dogwood come to be exactly?
Well, it started off with me meeting Jesse back in November for school. And we were like, hey, why don't we just get together and jam one day? Well, we did. We found a guy who played drums, and we did the talent show together, but we weren't officially Dogwood. Well, once I started working at Earlty Music in Delmar, I met a guy named Andrew Bowden who unfortunately could not be here tonight to be our drummer, and we formed Dogwood from that, and we just sort of put our music tastes together to form like certain types of mixed set lists, like Rage Against the Machine, Nirvana, Blink-182, Ramones, and all kinds of stuff.
All right, so back in the, and everybody should check out in the show notes. You're going to find links to a couple of videos of the guys playing shows. So make sure you do check out that. One of my comments to them when I first met them was, "It's the most interesting set list I've ever seen."
Yeah.
In one single set, they did have Nirvana, Blink-182, Rage Against the Machine,
Ramones.
And then the Ramones. Yes, back to back to back. Fantastic set, all well played, but not nearly kind of in the same genre of music.
Yeah.
All rock, I guess, but not really nearly in the same genre.
Yeah, I mean, I figured we could do something. We can get something that includes everybody, because you have the grunge effect. You have grunge. You have the rock rap. You have the original punk, and then you sort of have just everything together, and it pretty much can capture almost any audience if you want it.
So let me ask you this: how old are you guys?
I'm 18.
Yeah.
You're what? 17.
17, turning 18.
All right. So explain to me, because by my calculations, that means that the oldest of the two of you was born in 1997.
Correct.
So you are playing music that was put on vinyl. Womp. You do? All right, sorry for the interruption, guys. So where I was saying that the oldest of you was born in 1997, and you are playing the earliest of that music is even older. But for example, Nirvana 94 put on vinyl.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard Nirvana on vinyl?
Unfortunately, no.
Yeah. So, what is it like for you guys to play these songs that are actually older than you are?
It's sort of like a fresh new. It's like I don't know. It's like an experience of like, hey, this was what it was like. This is what music was before we were alive.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like
weird. I remember Nirvana in '94, so it's weird for me to hear somebody say that. From before I was alive.
Yeah.
So
before it was even a thought.
So how did you guys get into that kind of music that was been out for so long?
Well, originally up until before high school, I was typical like the pop music that was going on because I didn't really know any better. But it wasn't until I was going into high school because there was always traces of my parents had a Black album from Metallica laying around. And I kind of started listening to that. At first, it was like, I don't know, but the more I listened to it, the more I was like, it's pretty good.
Yeah. All right, so you guys had, was it, if I remember the story correctly, was it Metallica that actually, somebody's wearing a Metallica t-shirt when you met, right?
Yeah.
Right, okay, yeah. So tell everybody about that. How is it, I mean, kind of glossed over it, but how did that come to be?
Well, it was sort of like, it was a third period, correct? Yeah, third period. I walk in, I see a kid with a Metallica shirt, and he's seated directly next to where I sit. And I'm wearing a Megadeth shirt, and I'm just like, oh man, I gotta show off. And as soon as it happened, that's
although you weren't, I was gonna say, although you weren't very happy that day.
I wasn't very happy at the moment, but then I realized I had I had something in common with someone. And as soon as I noticed that, I was like, you know what, I can strike up a conversation with this person.
Right.
And I struck up a conversation with him, found out we play music, we both like the same type of music. We both like to play, and we both have experience with playing, but not with a band.
Right.
And we figured might as well, we'll start a band, we'll play for the talent show, and delay after delay after delay for talent show. It finally comes up. We found a guy to do drums at that moment. And then we just sort of played, what did we play? Amoeba by Adolescence. So that was our first song ever played together.
Something that nobody seemed to know.
Nobody knew it. But it was 1980 it came out, I believe so. It was, I believe it was 1980. I don't know, somewhere around there. But it was
So you played a song that came out 15 years before most of the people in your class were actually born.
Yeah, man.
Now, that is ballsy, because clearly only people who are like you guys are even going to know what that song is.
Yeah, and we were just like, you know what, we heard this song. Don't judge me or anything, but we were playing. I got it from Grand Theft Auto.
Okay, wait, no.
On the fifth one, all I would listen to was the Channel X punk station. That's all I could stand to listen to on there.
Yep.
But that's just me. But I heard this song and I was like, wow, it's really catchy. I'm like, what if I start playing this with a couple guys? I learned it, and then I met a guy that could play it, and could learn how to play it. And then we did it. We liked the song. That was our first song, so it's sort of a special thing to us. But I mean, it was just sort of like, hey, Here's what it is.
So, from just meeting to talent show, how much time are we talking about?
We met in November. Talent show was in what?
It was in the spring.
Yeah, it was in the spring. That's
okay,
all.
So
March or May.
March or May, somewhere around there.
So, what is practice? I mean, so I'm coming from my perspective, and my perspective was when you guys were in diapers, I was in high school. So garage bands were actually garage bands, and like we would go outside. Yeah. So I mean, what's the experience like for you guys to practice? I mean, I see now that there's actually a lot of performance space where people can kind of just be like, hey, can I use this for an hour? You sign up and you go use it. Mm-hmm. Is it that kind of thing? Or were you guys actually in a garage? What were you doing?
Well, we're not in the garage. We're not traditionally a garage band, but we're like an upstairs band.
Yeah. Okay.
Because like I have everything stationed in one of my upstairs rooms, and we figured, this is a good practice space. We don't have to pay anyone to play.
Parents don't care.
Parents don't care about it, but
yeah. So Flash said that this old punk kid, meaning her, is stoked that you're into good music, and she acknowledged that Tony Hawk, GTA, these are how younger kids are getting into this good music.
Well, I played the original Tony Hawk game back when I was little, and I heard, we both played it. We heard some of the old punk music and all that stuff, and I liked it when I was little, but I wasn't really into it.
It was catchy, but you didn't really know what it was.
Yeah, you didn't know what in the world you were listening to at first, but then you're like, wow, I like this.
I'm remembering playing Tony Hawk in college, and I'm like, yeah, no,
there's a lot of good songs on there.
But it was songs I already knew from when I was younger. So
I can't think of a really good example, but the only one I can think of was not the original, but I think it was the third one, Apes of Spades, that was on there. That's the one I always remember.
The one I always remember was Bloodstains by Agent Orange.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it was on the original Tony Hawk game.
Was that on original?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
And it's also the other song, what is it? Superman by Goldfinger.
Okay, yeah.
That's another one that was on the original. And those are the two songs that sort of capture the game experience.
God, it takes me back. All right, so let's see. Flash says, so Gotham Guy says he agrees with Tony Hawk games. And Flash, old punk music, nails on a chalkboard. I'm not sure what you mean by that. Lagwagon is on there as well. These are probably bands I don't know.
What song do you remember rocking out to playing Tony Hawk?
Well, no, Ace of Spades is the one. As soon as you said that, now that's all that's going around in my head because I remember we would do the verses where you could actually do a kickflip and fire a fireball at each other and try to knock each other off. Mm-hmm. PlayStation 2. God, jeez. I remember this. We would Corey and I. So the guy who I do the other podcast with, the Oh the Anthem podcast. Everybody should check out that podcast. OhTheAnthem.com. New episodes every Tuesday.